Welcome back to A Better Way of Earning podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle S. Thomas, and today we're tackling a topic that impacts almost every young professional entering the workforce. How do you choose the right opportunity? For years, many of us have been told that success is simple: get the degree, find the highest paying job, and everything else will work itself out. But what if, again, that advice is incomplete? What if the biggest paycheck isn't always the best opportunity? In this episode, we're going to challenge one of the most common career myths and explore how to make decisions that create long term growth instead of short term gratification. We'll discuss our trademark public playbook surrounding career success, uncovering the success blockers that often influence our decisions, and share practical tools to help you evaluate opportunities with confidence. Because the choices you make early in your career don't just determine what you'll earn, they'll shape who you will become. Let's get started. The core question that we will be diving in today is, what if the highest paying opportunity isn't the best opportunity? We all have, at one time or another, had this thought occur within our minds. The skill that we need to develop is how you properly evaluate this decision, even when you are in desperate or difficult times. Early career decisions shape far more than our income and our future income. These decisions also impact our current and future skills, your network, the future opportunities that you will be offered, your understanding of leadership, and mostly your confidence. Let's take a moment and unpack a few of these. Current and future skills. Whether or not you earn a formal degree or your work experiences shape the skills you develop, and those skills directly affect your future earning potential. In fast changing worlds, it is not enough to become strong in only one area. The strongest career paths are built by developing a range of transferable skills that can grow with you over time. When you choose an opportunity, pay attention to whether it helps you build technical skills that help you more capable within your field, communication and problem solving skills that transfer across multiple industries, leadership, collaboration, and decision making experience, and evidence of your abilities throughout projects, results, or measurable outcomes. If you spend years doing only one narrow set of tasks, you may limit your ability to move into new roles later. Even if you're capable of doing more, future employers often look for proof of experience. The right opportunities should help you build both skills and evidence so your next move becomes easier, not harder. Your network. Building a strong network begins with the work environment you choose. Your coworkers, leaders, and others within your organization help to shape the professional narrative around who you are, how you work, and what opportunities may come your way. Early within your career, it's important to consider whether a job gives you access to people, experiences, and conversations that help you learn and grow. If a role limits your ability to build relationships, receive that mentorship, or be seen for your contributions, moving into better opportunities later may become more difficult. A healthy network culture can help you build relationships with people who can share knowledge, guidance, and perspective. Gain much needed visibility for your work, your character, and your potential, learn about future opportunities before they become widely available, and mostly develop confidence through mentorship, feedback, and professional support. People know people. Let's be honest. People know people, and people especially talk to other people. This is the true meaning, my friends, of a network. Choosing an environment that encourages connection, learning, and growth can expand future options. Choosing one that isolates you may leave you with limited visibility and limited growth. And finally, maybe not the most important, but for me, it is the most impactful one. That is leadership understanding. Understanding leadership is not only about discovering your own leadership style early in your career, it also is about learning which leadership environments help you grow, perform well, and become more confident in your abilities. Every manager, team, and workplace culture teaches you something. Some leaders show you what effective support, communication, and accountability looks like. Others may teach you what to avoid. As I've often told my children when they were first started out working, you can even learn from a bad manager. Pay close attention to how different leadership styles directly affects your growth. Notice whether the environment encourages you to ask questions and learn without fear, receive clear expectations, feedback, and support, take ownership of your work and develop confidence, recognize the type of leadership culture where you thrive the best. The goal is not simply to work under good leaders. The goal is to become more aware of the leadership conditions that help you to better succeed. When you understand what kind of guidance, communication, and accountability brings out your best, you can make stronger career decisions and choose opportunities that support your long term career growth. What we're really discussing is your career capital. Career capital is the collection of skills, relationships, experiences, and opportunities that increase your professional value over time. Just as financial capital helps you build wealth, career capital helps build long term career success. The more career capital you accumulate, the more options, influence, and opportunities become available to you. In simpler terms, career capital is what you gain from an opportunity beyond the paycheck. Let's discuss the four pillars of career capital. Number one, skills. The question you ask yourself when it comes down to skills is, what will I learn with this career opportunity? The knowledge, abilities, and competencies that you develop. Examples are project management, leadership style, sales, marketing, public speaking, technology, AI tools. Are you encouraged to build upon, to experience, to test out, and learn these skills within the current opportunity or the future opportunity that you are choosing? Number two, relationships. Who will I meet? The professional network and mentors that you gain access to can be managers, mentors, business owners, industry professionals, and future employers. This is important because these relationships not only are relevant for your current opportunity, but you will find in most industries, these relationships will show up years, sometimes even decades later, to help either propel or derail your future career opportunities. Visibility. Who will know my work? This is an opportunity for you to be seen, recognized, and trusted. That means, are you afforded opportunities to present projects? Are you leading initiatives? Do you have direct client interactions? Are you a part of cross functional teams? Why is visibility important in your early career decisions? Because not only does this help you to build your confidence for presentations or building bigger projects, but it helps other people around you to learn more about you and refer you to other opportunities for due to that visibility. And finally, opportunities. What doors could this open? The future possibilities created by today's experiences is very vital for your career path, whether that career path is within an industry, a job, or even building your own business. Because within building your own business, you're going to need references, clients, customers, and also support for you to help that business to thrive. So, within your current opportunity, are there promotions available, new career opportunities, business partnerships, leadership roles, and things that will lead to a better opportunity with your entrepreneurship goals? What I teach my mentees and the people that I train is to use what we've trademarked as a career capital scorecard. Before accepting any opportunity, ask yourself those questions. Skills, what will I learn? Score that 1 to 10. Relationships, who will I meet? Score that 1 to 10. Visibilities, who will see my work? Score that again 1 to 10. And opportunities, what doors will this open? Score that. Many people evaluate opportunities based solely over compensation. At a better way of earning, we encourage you to evaluate opportunities based on career capital. Because while salary impacts your life today, career capital impacts your future. The opportunities that help you learn, build relationships, increase visibility, and create future opportunities often provides returns that far exceed the initial paycheck. Now that we've talked about career capitals, let's move into success blockers. And I introduced this concept in the beginning of season 2, where these are not only ideals, but sometimes things that we are taught that directly impact or impede our ability to achieve the levels of success that we desire. As you're navigating these decisions about your career, be aware of these common success blockers that tends to crowd our success pathways. Number 1, chasing titles instead of correct positioning. Many of us pursue titles before developing our competency to be able to execute that title well. But the reality is that a title does not create capability. It's capability that builds sustainable success. Number 2, validation seeking. Many of us, especially in the beginning of our careers, sought surface level validation through our titles and our salaries to impress other people around us. This quest often lands us within an endless cycle of unsatisfying chasing instead of organic growth. And number 3, artificial competence. This is defined as I appear capable, but I haven't developed the underlying skill. Artificial competence often occurs when a person solely relies so heavily on technology, AI, templates, shortcuts, or other people's work that they never really develop the knowledge, judgment, and critical thinking required to perform independently. The result is the illusion of growth without actual capability. Back to our public playbook. We've been taught since we entered into school to work smarter, not harder. While true in many situations, some people have interpreted this as skip learning and let the tools do the work. The real problem with that is tools can create output, but they cannot automatically create understanding. For example, AI can write an email, a business plan, a sales proposal, a marketing strategy. But if you do not understand why it was written that way, whether it was correct, whether it should be modified, or how this aligns with the objective, then you're borrowing competency instead of building it. I call this the copy and paste effect. The copy and paste effect for me is when people repeatedly borrow answers without developing the knowledge needed to create, evaluate, or improve those answers themselves. Over time, skill development slows. Confidence becomes dependent solely on tools, and problem solving weakens while critical thinking decreases. Let's go over an example. A student uses an AI to write every paper. The papers earn good grades. That's given that dopamine effect. But when you're asked, explain your position, this very same student struggles because the output improved, but the understanding never did. Another example, a salesperson uses AI generated outreach messages. They look very professional. They get the results that they desire. They're making those sales goals. But when a prospect begins to ask follow up questions, they begin to struggle. They're unable to adapt because the script developed was a script. It did not develop their knowledge, their expertise, nor their skill. Why this becomes dangerous? Because eventually everyone has access to the same tools. Keep that in mind. I'm going to say that one more time. Everyone eventually can gain access to the very same tools that you're using. What becomes valuable and the differentiator or the separator between you and anyone else is judgment, creativity, decision making, communication, leadership, critical thinking. These are things AI amplifies, not replaces. Tools versus skill test. Always ask yourself, can I explain this without the tool? If the answer is no, then you may have borrowed the output without fully developing the skill. Here's a 3-layer learning model that I want you to begin to implement within your development, especially while you're using AI tools. Level 1, get used to using chats or AI or templates, which means do it for me. I need the answer. However, within level 1, don't just copy and paste that. Really dive into it, read it, understand it, and ask follow up questions to your AI source, which now will take you to level 2. Do it with me. Help me to understand the output or the answer that you gave me so I can not only understand it, but I can regurgitate it or articulate it in a real life environment, which then will move you into level 3. Teach me how to do it, which means help me to build the skill. As I'm growing, as I'm utilizing these tools, I also should be becoming more confident and more and better well versed within the projects, the skills, the output that I am provided to my employer, to my team, to my business, to my employees. This, my friends, is where growth really occurs. The definition, again, of my copy and paste effect is the habit of relying solely on technology, AI, templates, or borrowed solutions to, to produce results without developing the underlying knowledge, judgment, and skills necessary to perform them independently. Here are some symptoms for you to recognize if you are struggling or suffering from the copy and paste effect. Over reliance on AI, which means that every task that you are assigned, every step that you need to do for your business, everything that you have to present to someone else, you solely have to rely on AI to create it for you. Number two, surface level understanding. Did you even read it? Do you know what it's saying? Do you understand even the language and the technical terms and the terminology that you are presenting to someone else? Are these words and information that is readily available to your knowledge base? Do you find yourself having difficulty explaining your output or the decisions that you've presented? And finally, have you developed a lack of confidence to execute any project or any task without the use of said tools? Becoming solely reliant on technology and AI is truly limiting your problem solving ability. I remember when our kids were young, and I think I've told this story in season one, but they became really frustrated with their dad because he wouldn't allow them to use calculators at home. And we had one son that was the ultimate negotiator. And so what he was explaining to his father was, my teacher said I can use it and we use it in school. And his dad quickly explained to him that when you get out there in the real world, especially when it comes down to numbers, how will you ever know quickly if someone is cheating you, if something doesn't add up right, if your money isn't right, if you solely have to rely on a calculator to figure that out for you? You need to exercise this in your mind so that when you're in a real life situation, you don't have time to run to the car or open up your phone and pull out the calculator. Because oftentimes in the world today, if people see that you have to use a calculator, they are more apt to take advantage of you and out talk you or outwork those numbers so that they can keep you confused. I tell you that story because, well, my kids, now that they're older, what they learned and the skill that they developed was quick thinking about numbers. They're able to calculate these things in their head. They're able to understand their financial strengths, the numbers, how people are interacting with them because their father would not allow them to solely rely on the calculators. Which brings me to the antidote for the copy and paste effect. Use tools to accelerate your learning. Never use them to replace the art of learning. Why is all this important, my friends? Because the more you understand before you're faced with major decisions, the better prepared you'll be to make choices that serve not just your present, but your future. And before we close out this episode, I want to address something that is deeply personal to me. For many years, I believed that the circumstances of my life had permanently limited my opportunities for wealth and success. Like many people, there were seasons when I could not afford to be selective. I took the jobs that paid the bill. I accepted positions that weren't necessarily connected to some grand career plan. For a long time, I viewed those experiences as setbacks. I believed that because I had not followed the traditional path, that I somehow had fallen behind. That belief damaged my confidence. There were moments when I questioned my abilities, my potential, and even my future. But what I didn't realize at the time was that the jobs, the titles, the industries would never become the defining pillars of my success. What mattered most was what I gained within them. Every position taught me something. Every challenge developed me. Every opportunity added to my career capital. I developed skills that I still rely on today: execution, problem solving, communication, relationship building, leadership, and perhaps more importantly, visibility. No matter what role I held, I never limited myself to simply performing the duties listed in my job description. I looked for opportunities to learn. I sought out mentors. I volunteered for projects. I asked questions. I cross trained. I paid attention. And many times I did those things without receiving an extra dollar for doing so. Why? Because I understood something that I couldn't fully articulate at the time. Every skill I developed was creating future opportunities. Now, that doesn't mean that I wasn't frustrated. It doesn't mean I never felt overlooked, undervalued, or disappointed, because I absolutely did. But I made a decision not to allow those feelings to interfere with the quality of my work. I remained committed to excellence. And over time, that commitment opened doors I could have never predicted. While my title might have said supervisor, I found myself sitting at tables with business owners, CEOs, vice presidents, and shareholders discussing major organizational decisions. Not because of my title, not because of my degree, not because of who I knew, but because they recognized my skills, knowledge, judgment, and expertise extended far beyond the position I held. That's why I want you to remember this. Your current job is not your destiny. Your current title is not your identity. And your current salary is never your value. The real question is not, what am I earning today? The real question is, what am I becoming? Because when you consistently invest in your skills, your relationships, your visibility, and your opportunities, you are building your career capital. And career capital has a way of opening doors that job titles never can. Before we go, remember this. The public playbook may tell you how success is supposed to happen. Your success blockers may try to convince you it cannot happen. But your journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep building a life that reflects your values, your goals, and your definition of success. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of A Better Way of Earning podcast, because success isn't about following somebody else's path. It is about building one that works for you. A better way of earning is where work, money, leadership, and life come together, helping you to build success on your own terms.